Hi, it's Mark with DWE, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use DW Soundworks inside of ProTools and route the instruments into individual channels. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's get started by opening up ProTools. First thing I'll do is add an instrument track. Here, let's make sure this is stereo. And I'm going to name this Soundworks. Now you notice I already have the Inserts tab open and the I/O tab open. If you don't see those when you start up, then just go over to the left in this drop-down menu and make sure those are checked. Next, I'll click in the top cell and add in my instrument plugin, which is Soundworks. Okay, once Soundworks is open, you'll see it opens with a default kit. Now, the best thing to do is start with a clear kit so that there's no predetermined routing or effects added. All right, so just choose your favorite library for this. And let's just go ahead with this acrylic kit. I'll start with a basic 6-piece kit. Add the instruments. And the cymbals. Basic left, right crash, and a right cymbal. Okay, I've got my basic kit all set up. Now that that's set up, let's go over to the mixer page. Now here in the mixer page, the routing is already set for master 1 and 2, but we're going to route these individually, so we don't need master 1 and 2. So let's just deactivate all of these. Okay, now let's start with the kick routing. It's going to start on 3 and 4. We'll keep these all in stereo since there's multiple mics per each instrument. Snare drum will be 5 and 6. And I'll just go down the line. 7, 8, 9, 10. Give these all their own track. Go to the next instrument page, add the crash number 2, and let's also add the overhead and ambience. Okay, now that those are all routed, let's go back to the main page. In playback options, turn off the snare buzz. It's on by default, but we want to keep our tracks clean, so let's turn that off. Okay, so we're done with Soundworks. Why don't we go ahead and save that and just call this ProTools Multi-Out. That way it's there if we ever need it again. Now that I have that properly routed and saved, I'm going to go ahead and create 12 new tracks, and these are going to be stereo auxiliary tracks. Go ahead and name this SW for Soundworks, and you'll see now these are all in succession, Soundworks 1 through 12. Now I'm going to take the Soundworks routing and add it to each of these 12 tracks. Now, a shortcut to do this in Mac is to hold down Option Command, and in Windows, press Control Alt. Then click here, and let's go down to the plugin and choose Out 3 and 4. Now you'll notice it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's all in succession here, cascading down by using that shortcut. So next I'll add in some playing by adding a MIDI clip. So I'm going to just open my MIDI clip folder and drag one of these in here. Now this will trigger Soundworks, and it should route it into all 12 of these newly created tracks. So let's hit play. You can see that each track is active. Okay, great, that's done. Next thing to do is to label each track. And this is important, and I'll show you why in a minute. So double click in this first track, and let's just name each instrument. Once you name it, instead of hitting OK, hold down Command and down arrow in Mac, and in Windows, hold down Alt and down arrow. And this will take you to the next track without having to close and open each track. And you can name them quickly that way. Okay, so we've named all 12 of these new tracks, and they all have been routed properly. So now you can use your third-party effects or the internal effects from Soundworks or any of the effects you like from ProTools, and you have all of these available to use separately. This will really help you refine your mix. But the one thing you can't do right now is share these with anyone else because we have not rendered audio. We've only routed the plugin to separate aux tracks. So if you need to share these stems with someone, you want to print audio, the way to do that easily is to just take any of these highlighted tracks. Make sure all of these are highlighted still. And we'll go ahead and right click on Kick, come down to Commit. And now the selected tracks will all render to audio. Make sure you have offline checked so it'll go quicker. Now after I hit OK, all of these aux tracks will become hidden and inactive, and you'll see the newly created audio tracks. Okay, so there we are. Let's just make sure that they all are playing audio. Great, looks like it all worked. Now we need to save these, but before we save these, we need to make sure all of these tracks are routed back into the aux tracks so that they have their own individual output. I'm going to start here since these are all routed to just 1 and 2. We want to actually route them back in to the corresponding aux tracks. So I'm going to choose Kick for the first track and just in succession, go back down the track and pick each instrument so that's routed back to the aux tracks. Okay, so those are all routed back to the aux tracks. And the reason we're going to do that, I'll show you now, because we want to save these. Go up to File, go down to Bounce Mix. Now here in this page, you'll see that the mix source is defaulting to out stereo 1 and 2. But we want to go ahead and choose the buses we just created. So I'll choose Kick. And I'm going to hit this so we get 12 tracks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, now we have the mix source being all of our individual instruments. Now let's also choose a directory. I have mine already chosen and make sure offline is checked so it'll go faster, and then hit bounce. Now all of those stems have been saved into my audio clips folder. And there they are. Those are our newly saved stems, and you can send those to someone to share or collaborate with other people that may not have Soundworks and need these stems. I hope this video was helpful to you. Feel free to drop some comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.